In an ancient time, when a terrible evil threatens the land, only one man can save the world.
Say what? Get out of here.
What? What's the meaning of this?
Oh, let's take off that broken record.
I say.
Here, hold my earrings while I take this monster down. I've got your back, darling. We just might burn down this town. Oh no, oh yeah. When you're up against a challenge and you need a helping hand, we've got an arsenal of fireballs, steel stilettos, and a cat. Oh yeah.
Hi, and welcome to Here Hold My Earrings. My name's Al, and I'm your DM for today. We have Henrietta, Yvonne, Laura, Susan, Daria, and Sophie. Henrietta?
Hi, I'm Henriette. I'm from Norway, and I play a Kalashtar druid named Dalin.
Yvonne?
Hi, my name is Yvonne, and I'm sorry. I'm crashing and burning today. Hi, my name's Yvonne, and I'm from Canada, and I play Cracker, a half-orc barbarian who can't speak in complete sentences.
Very well played. Laura?
Hi, I'm Laura from Germany, and I'm playing Violet, a Dragonborn wizard.
Susan?
Hi, I'm Susan. I'm from America, and I play Moxie, a half-elven bard.
Daria?
Hi, I'm Daria. I'm from Poland, and I play a tiefling sorcerer named Zenis.
And Sophie?
I am Sophie. I'm from Wales, and I play a human wizard named Charlotte.
Sophie, aka Trixie. Yes. If you change your character name to Trixie, that would definitely be. I would definitely not mistake
Oh,
those
gosh.
two.
Charlotte finds a book with the name Trixie in it. She thinks she will adopt this name instead.
That's how my mother found my real name. She, most of you probably know that Al is just my, but okay, good. So, is it Sophie? Sophie, you're doing the recap?
Mhm.
God, my
Shall I
short-term
start?
memory. My short-term memory today is absolutely horrendous. I apologize. Yes, yes, please do if you in your own time.
Okay. So there was a lot of reading of books last session. So this, I guess, my recap will be recapping some of the stuff that we read and heard about. So yeah, we were in the Hall of the Past, and we just quickly reviewed the Demonomicons, volumes 3 and 4. Book 3 was about Jublex and Lolth. Book 4 was about Baphomet and Yunogu. In the index of the volumes, it has titles of other demon lords, who in demon hierarchies are below the demon princes. And if you skim your finger along the index, along the titles, you feel a prick, and some blood comes out, and you kind of get the impression that if you give something, you can get more information from the books. They seem like they have some power in them, and that the blank pages could be the skin of sacrifice gods and could be used for something. We also read the book that we retrieved from Devere, the Drow guy, and that book was Zugtmoy, Demon Goddess of Mushrooms. It says that she may have an interest in the Neverlight Grove and the Myconids, as well as our Mycos, who is one of the largest, the largest living being in Toril, and could affect the entire Underdark as well as the rest of the world. In regards to Zuktmoy, it says that her power is limited to hallucinations and mind control, which is why she's never really broken into the big leagues. Oh, and we also learned that Kaladuran who is the patron deity of deep gnomes, is really good at shaving stone. Okay. Then Charlotte starts to transcribe some missing info from the Demonomicons, for Agamemnon's treatises. At the end of his treatises, It has a question asking about the demon web pits and how they work as a nexus between different realities. We learn that these can access any reality and are more effective than the world Serpent Inn, which itself is a respite for interdimensional travelers. Moxie searches around for some books to help with her problem, her shadow problem. And she finds a few. Oh, brother, would you lend me a hand? Arms dealer, Witches, Witches, and Basic Bitches, and Frankenstein's Opus. From these, we learn a few things. You can get body parts from a specialist butcher shop, from a limb shark on the black market, for an evil cleric or wizard's laboratory, an owlbear lair, from a red wizard of Thay, or simply by being clever in the merchant city of Arm. It also said that you can have a hair transplant using a halfling's foot, or the top part of a halfling's foot. She also reads that to heal a withered limb, you can cast the heal spell. You can ask for help from a unicorn if you're of a chaotic good or neutral good alignment. You could amputate the limb and reattach a healthier one using an ointment, a magical ointment, or you can simply die and get brought back to life. So yeah, after we read all this information, we head back to the Hall of the Present so that Byleth can get some news updates. We learn that the orcs attacking Silvery Moon were defeated by the Knights of Silver. We learn that Satina helped in exchange for a lesser sentence, but was overwhelmed. Her body wasn't found, but it's assumed that she was consumed by one of her fireballs, but nobody exactly saw what happened. We learn that the black mold is continuing to spread, but Silvery Moon is untouched and provided for thanks to the help of some conclave wizards, clerics of the thunder, and druids of the Elmworld Enclave. The landscape around Silvery Moon is decimated and unusable, and any magical attempts to help it haven't been working thus far. So Lady Illustriel agrees to a mutual assistance treaty, not an alliance, so that the Silvery Marches and Silver Moon have magic supplemented by wizards, vampires, and witches of the red wizards of Thay. In exchange for their help, the Wizards of Thay have Silvery Moon assist in the search and capture or destruction of Tarul Var, a renegade lich. Lady Illustria wants to end the alliance ASAP and find the source of the black mold. Some intelligence shared with the Queen Titania indicates that the mold is of demonic origin, but for some reason the Lord's Alliance Committee are getting in the way of any response efforts. After we get all this information, Byleth also asks for an update on Port Nyanzaru. We learn that there's been a civil war over the last couple of months that started between pro-colonial and pro-independence groups, but this escalated into a religious crusade after a terrorist attack on the Temple of Joaquin. Some merchant princes have then moved to safer locations in the midst of all this. Tory loyalists have moved to the Arthkatla in Arm, and some others have moved to a new island run by a wizard from the Scorch family. The island is now a haven for animals retired from the dinosaur races, which have been suspended indefinitely. And it's also a holiday resort named Aegeus Park, sponsored by Dynamot. Finally, foreign crusaders and mercenaries, including the Flaming Fist and the Zentrim, have been called in and are splitting cult up into fiefdoms run by local warlords. Then, after this news update, we're all at Cessna's, and the assistant there shows off a new item on the menu, which seems to be an unholy combination of Cessna's and books, which talk and beg to be eaten. We buy 3 of them. Byleth and Cracker have one each, and they taste amazing. Cud also has one. And we're all given a book that outlines Cessna's journey from being an evil doppelganger to then being a successful culinary businessman. And thanks to Cud, we also, or rather Cessna also ends up having a new item on the menu, a blend of tea involving twigs, moss, and herbs. Then we take a long rest. During the long rest, Darlin sends a message to Sealoth Hall saying, got a lead, there's a portal in, we'll update. And then we all awaken feeling refreshed, and for the next 24 hours or until the next long rest, we have +1 to hit, +1 to saving throws, armor class, and skill checks. And then we will move back into the Hall of the Past. It's here that we reunite with Tonka, but he doesn't seem to recognize anyone because he's actually just an echo of the past. And he mentions that he's researching how to make a Dragon Slayer sword. Krak manages to persuade him to give her a bit more information. He wants to make the sword as a gift for his barbarian friend Oyvind, who Krak would like to meet, so that he can kill a white dragon and redeem his family's honor, which was tarnished because his grandson had a child with a lady orc. We learned from Tonka that for him, it's the year 1480. That Father Amator, who is another friend of Tonka's, may have had some kind of research project in the Temple of Loth, which the party has been to before. And everyone either gets acquainted to or reunites with a sentient bone club thing, Winrack, who somehow magically retains his memory throughout the timelines. Tonka gives the party a spooky black book. But before we have a chance to read it, another book falls out in front of Zanice, which tells the story of a pair of lovers killed by a jealous king who then have their essences melded into a tree so that they can presumably spend eternity with each other. Then Moxie opens up the book that Tonka pulled out. And inside the book is the image of another book hidden in a creche, and it looks like it could be something from the Shadowfell. She hears a voice asking if she's interested in the Book of Shadows, and she's like, yes, which then summons another book, a bit of book inception, which she opens up, and it transports us to a sort of shadowy location that has two blazing spheres of light and fire. And then we all get attacked by a bunch of shadow creatures. Charlotte dies, which summons a shadow version of her that turns on the party. We then realize that the shadows seem to be coming from the flaming spheres, and we try to destroy them, but then Moxie dies, followed by Dalin, at which point we're all summoned to another location, which has a goddess inside who tells us that our shadows will be released, whatever that means. And we're briefly confronted by some undead dragons, and then a portal opens up, taking us back to Graven Hollow, where we're all unharmed and alive again. But anyone who didn't previously have one now has a brand of Kiransili. And that's where we're at now.
I thought that was a great update.
It
Thank
was.
you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
super summary.
Basically, what
Just
she's
let you
saying is
hang there
everything
for a
is
minute.
still Moxie's fault.
Well
For
done,
sure.
Sophie. That was a terrific recap.
Nope, nope.
That was it was very convoluted, and I think even some of the more experienced players, some of whom have been through almost everything, would have had quite a challenge trying to recall all the details and names. So terrifically executed.
Yeah.
Does anyone want to discuss anything about that? And no questions. You all have this deeply disturbing brand that is on some upper body extremity, whether it's your chest, your breast, not like, in a sensitive area, but just where the muscle is, your shoulder, your upper arm, possibly your neck. It looks like a hand, a beautiful woman's hand, but it's also quite well, it's a bit disturbing that you suddenly have this, shiny new tattoo out of. And this was what Kira Anseli looked like. She looked like a beautiful drow, but of course quite disturbing appearing. Assume you guys all saw that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do we feel the brand?
Yes, you can feel it. It feels, it stings like a new tattoo, but it doesn't. So presumably a wound like that would leave you feeling both pain as well as possibly some heat from the damage to the skin. This one, though, when you touch it, it feels cold, like death.
Oh dear.
Well, I mean, we kind of did die, sort of, kind of.
Yeah. Well, some of you definitely did.
Oh wait, if I died and came back, does that mean my arm's back to where it should be?
Yeah. Sure.
Well, it said if you die and come back.
Yes, that's true. And I realized that you successfully caught the DM in his own logic loop. So well done.
Yes.
Hey.
No longer
It-
do I have a frostbitten looking black fingernailed arm. Sweet.
No, you just have a really creepy tattoo of a hand on your
Let me think.
arm or your neck. Maybe across your face.
I don't know about that.
Like she just got bitch slapped or something.
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly. Now, Curiosity doesn't leave them on the face because she doesn't want it to be absolutely visible. But who wants to tell us about Curiosity? Congratulations, Henrietta.
Me?
Yeah.
I would
Yay.
say
That makes sense. That tracks.
Does it?
Yeah.
Can't understand why. I just kind of sacrificed some shadows to her last time.
Yeah.
Told them to join
Mm.
her. Well, she's a demigod or something, isn't she? She's not a full-blown god.
She is a goddess. She's a
Okay.
goddess of the elven pantheon. Who, the elven pantheon includes all the good gods as well as Lolth and all of the ones who are subservient to Lolth. She's part of Lolth's universe, so she
Yeah.
primarily is goddess of the Drow.
And she's isn't. I don't remember everything, and I don't have my notes in front of me.
Well, you
But
did also
she's
get a book on Curiosity, but that's a secondary thing.
yeah. She's an evil goddess, and she's goddess of is it death or something.
Mm.
And last time we met her, we kind of stumbled upon her, took a
She's the
portal,
goddess of
and
vengeance
went yeah,
and undead.
undead. It was not death, but undead.
Mhm.
And we were branded and told that everyone we killed was going to her, to hurt their souls. So, but it's a long time since we met her, isn't it? Like half a year or something. I can't remember
Mm.
everything, and I don't have my notes here now.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
It's been a hot minute.
Yeah. So, well, she's a goddess. She's evil. She claimed. Well, we kind of to be kept alive. We had to promise her that everyone we killed would go to her, and then we met her again.
Laura?
Well, I mean, that
Were
kind
you-
of covers it. I mean, and then she
No. No.
tattooed us,
Um,
gave us a ring.
Well, I
There's definitely more.
wasn't Loth like jealous of Kuransali and wanted to regain more control. So we either have to get Kuransali out of the demon world or be her servants forever. And we have to defeat Loth too? Or was that really wrong?
No, that's not that far off. So Curiosity,
Okay, great.
no, well done. So Curiosity she's very independent minded. And she just wants to live her own life. Raising the undead. But for those of you who don't remember all the details, you did luckily find a book on Curiosity because Delin was looking for one.
Mm-hmm.
Did we talk about that? We talked about that, right? You found a book on
No.
Curiosity.
No,
Oh,
I haven't found my books yet.
oh.
In my notes, it says something about killing Loth's baby, but I don't know if I just conjectured that one out to get revenge.
Well, Lolth killed her own baby because she didn't want to kind of look at it because it was the child of Asmodeus. she was
Right.
angry at, so she killed her baby.
Talk about postpartum.
Yeah,
But-
but the baby was kind of immortal, so she had to bury it in a coffin and secure it for forever. And that's where we found the remains. Well, me and Satina, and we found a letter telling the story about Lolth and Asmodeus and their love affair, which is a secret, big secret.
Isn't Caransley also under like Lilith's commands, and she wants to be free, independent woman? Yeah.
Mhm. Mm. Yes. I mean, why not, right? Absolutely. Yeah, very good. Well done. I appreciate that everybody's a little bit discombobulated at the moment. Henrietta, would you like to read this bit from your book on curiosity that you suddenly find?
Suddenly fine.
Pops
You
up
were
out of
going to
nowhere
find
once
it
you
anyway.
return.
It's suddenly,
Yeah.
it was, a book falls at your feet.
Again.
Again.
No, what a coincidence.
Yeah. Let's see. Caransley is a lesser deity of the undead and patroness of shadows. Although she shared this latter portfolio with others, including the drow deities Shar, goddess of the shadow weave, and Varun, god
Sure.
of, yeah, something like that. God of males and shadows. Oh, the males have their own god. Neat. However, Caransley's primary aspect is that of vengeance personified, along with Run or something, son of Lolth. She is known to have actively rebelled against the Spider Queen, as she's sought her independence. A masterful planner, her plot have taken centuries to unfold, while she retains a perfect memory of every slight ever committed against her. Unlike Veyran or something, who tries to help his followers, Caransley is only interested in complete freedom of servitude and expanding her control of the undead. She seeks to wrest control of all undead from Orcus. Although not the most powerful deity, even amongst the drow, she is nevertheless not one to cross.
Very good. And as you read all of this to the party, that portrait hanging on the wall at the end there of the Hall of the Past again seems to light up, and the image of Curiosity suddenly moves forward over the underlying image, which seems to be a stuffy old fellow, and it lights up. And all of you feel a tingling, a cold fire, icy hot type tingling on your brands wherever they're located on your body. Does anybody have the brand in a place that's possibly visible? Where's your brand, Zenice?
Under my boob.
Under your boob?
Yeah.
How big are your boobs?
Oh my god.
So the brand is, so just to be clear, so the brand is not small. It's not like tiny. It's not like, it's like maybe half the size of your total hand, or maybe the size of your palm. So it's not like, it's not so small that you could very easily hide it just behind like a strand of hair, for example.
That's
But if that's where, what do you want? You can have it bigger if you'd like, but she won't let you have it be that much smaller, because she wants people to know that you are a follower of Curiosity, or you're indebted to.
so between my boobs.
Okay. How about Charlotte?
It's on her left boob.
Okay. I mean, it doesn't have to be on the boob. It could be, back,
But I want it
neck.
to be.
Okay, fine. Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah. All right. I'm trying not to make it creepy, but you guys take it wherever you want. All right. I'm almost afraid to ask Susan. right? Arguably the
It's
dirtiest mind out of all of you.
and I put it in the most inconspicuous location ever. On her right shoulder, like on the
Aw.
outside of her arm.
I'm so disappointed.
Basically the arm that well, I could have put it somewhere else, but everybody else took those locations.
It's like, can she have it on her butt? Yeah.
That's a little low.
Also thought about that.
It's too low. No, but on the arm that was
okay.
necrotic is where it is now.
That makes sense, actually. Yeah,
Mhm.
I like that. That's very consistent with the RP and the story of Moxie. So well done. Yeah, that makes a tremendous amount. Yeah, you could even have the tattoo cover your actual hand so that it looks like your hand. Yes, and you now are one of the things you inherently know, although you're not required to actually be a quote unquote follower, but you are essentially in her camp, is that Kiransali is not widely accepted throughout Drow society. In fact, although it doesn't go quite so far as to be an actual pogrom, where there is active elimination of the followers of Kiransali, it is not easy to be a follower of Kiransali in Drow society. Polite Drow society, as it were, is very much Loth orientated, and those who follow Kiransali are at best shunned, but they could be actively pursued. Any other books or other things that people, and does anybody want to ask anything else about Kiransali? So you're now all indebted to her for having saved you. You feel the pull of a gesh, which is a kind of magical impulse that requires you to pursue this goal of hers, this quest, where she wants you to help her become free. And that quite possibly will lead to some sort of interaction or possibly a conversation. You all sense that if it doesn't occur within a reasonable time frame, understand that you are mortals, you'll all return to Kiransali's realm forever.
Oops.
You're like,
Eh,
whatever.
whatever.
What other books are there?
What other books?
All
Well,
right,
I was
yeah.
doing some light reading just for myself. That's not kind of any interest to the other ones in the party. About the Kalashtar and
Mhm.
about druid gods and goddesses.
Mm-hmm.
So that's some reading I wouldn't share with the party, just for myself, just so.
Just so you don't have to read it out loud.
Yep.
So when you say you're not going to share it with the party, do you mean you would like me to post it to you only?
It doesn't matter, but I wouldn't share that with the party. It's kind of, well, at least not the Kalashtar thing.
Okay.
And the druid gods are just kind of my own curiosity,
Okay. I
trying
mean,
to be
technically,
better.
right. So technically, you're just in a library.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people have ever been in a library just browsing without actually having some specific thing they were under time pressure to try to complete research on. But for those of us who have ever just browsed a library, you ever see somebody put down what looked like a very interesting book and then pick it up and read it yourself?
Yeah, they might do that. That's
Okay. So, I mean, how do you go about finding these books? And wasn't there another book? I think there was another book that somebody hadn't finished reading. Maybe Moxie had a
Yeah.
book that she hadn't finished.
Liches, witches, and basic bitches.
Yeah, I didn't think you read that one yet.
No.
All right. Well, to give Henrietta a little break, because I can sense the anxiety rising in her throat.
it's not that bad.
Well, Susan, would you like to read your book?
I would love to read my book.
Okay. Why don't you want to share it with the rest of the party? Oh, well, you can do it. Like, right, that. Okay, so you finally crack open this book, Moxie, and it's got a picture of a lich, which you probably don't know what that is, but it is a very skeletal looking person or creature, but it's wields magic. It also has some image of your typical, storybook style crone with the long hooked nose with the wart on the end of it, green face. Some of you with some more experience traveling and in certain types of more swampy locations may recognize that as something that looks like a hag. And then there's a eh, sorry.
Does it look like the one we met? The three wasn't a
Yes,
hags? Yeah.
it could be. Yes. I mean, it doesn't look exactly the same, but there are definitely
No, but
similarities.
yeah.
Yep. And then the last image seems to be a very beautiful young woman in a very, very short skirt and tight fitting top, wearing what some of you would call stilettos, carrying what is apparently a very pretty jeweled bag on her arm. There you go.
All right.
That's a lot. Sorry, but you can take your time.
All right. Liches, powerful, immortal, and highly intelligent, are
Nope.
far more.
Sorry. That's actually
That's just
part two.
two.
Liches,
Oh,
witches, and basic bitches.
there we go. I missed the fact that it
Mm.
scrolled even further up. There we go. All right, I found it. Although similar sounding in the common tongue, it is important not to confuse liches, witches, and basic bitches. While witches can be chaotic and devious, and liches often have global domination in mind, it is the basic bitch that represents possibly the greatest threat to civilized society. Witches are often limited by their inability to directly affect the world, relying instead on supplicants desperate or foolish enough to seek out their magic to be drawn in as victims or cat's paws in their schemes. Isolated in remote swamps and mountain retreats, witches barely contribute more than the basis for a mere boogeyman's tale with which to scare children. Liches, powerful, immortal, and highly intelligent, are far more dangerous. The Red Wizards of Thay have in recent years become a lichocracy of sorts after the arrival of Zaz Tam and his Oster of the Megocracy that ruled via the Council of Zulkirs for centuries. But the sheer requirements to becoming a lich, including magical phylacteries requiring the spells Magic Jar, Permanency, Enchant an Item, and the rare Trap the Soul, and costing well into the hundreds of thousands of gold, are a natural governor on their impact at the common man's level. And the desire of most liches for longevity and power tend to make them extremely independent, easily turned, and self-centered, create opportunities to even use one against another. Basic bitches, however, are everywhere. From the ubiquitous adoption of furry barbarian-style boots to their nearly uniform application of powders and stains to color their face and eyes in a fresh and natural style, to their pretentious belief that they should control huge swaths of culture's economy by virtue of their excessive and vapid fashion-related expenditure. These, usually women of human, halfling, goblin, elven, and even drow extraction, permeate all organized societies, and with their sheer numbers can wear down even the most powerful dragon, like a colony of worker ants swarming a dragon. Across the Underdark and Faerun, basic bitches are without doubt the greatest threat known to humanoid races. I love it.
Anybody have any disagreement about that statement?
No.
Does everybody know what a basic bitch is? Anybody not know what a basic bitch is? Hi, we hope you're enjoying this episode, and if so, please like and subscribe. And remember, the next time your DM says, roll initiative, yell back,
Here,
hold
my
my
earrings.
Here, my earrings.
This is good. I think we only need this take.
So, picking up where we left off, you did a quick read of your Liches, Witches, and Basic Bitches book, and I think, Henrietta, you were going to have Delyn look for some books of her own.
Mhm.
Yvonne, did Cracker get everything she wanted? I think
So?
so, right? Okay. And Daria wasn't particularly looking for books. She's more sort of on the. Although she liked the story, didn't she?
Of course.
Now you have that book in your possession, and Zanice has that book in her possession, and it
Oh, yeah.
tingles, tingles and glows. So it's technically a book of Graven Hollow, but I mean, you know, it's not like it's impossible to take something if you really want to. I'm not trying to encourage you to get busted, but
Yeah.
as the basilisk casts a stony gaze in your direction. No pun intended. Okay. And anybody else? Byleth? Did Laura, did Byleth have anything she was looking up? She already did all her updates, right?
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have much else.
Susan, was there anything besides that one?
Yeah, we covered all the other ones, which is why I now know how my arm got back to normal.
Yeah.
Granted, it's branded, but hey.
Ingratitude is not pretty. I'm just
Hey,
making a general statement.
brand versus necrotic. We'll take the brand. Please and thank you.
Look, maybe Kiransali is a marketing genius and she's always focused on her branding.
These dad jokes, man.
Oh, they are hilarious.
All right. And Sophie, how does Charlotte well, did you introduce? Yeah, you introduced her surname. How does Charlotte feel about her time in the library? Was there anything else that she felt she discovered or didn't get a chance to fully research because she was so busy trying to scrape a living working for Cessna?
And then she gets pulled into all these shenanigans with the other guys.
Mm.
Do we have volumes 1 and 2 of those Demonomicons?
Yes, very good. Demonomic. It's a mouthful. Demon icon. Well, how would you I mean, you're asking you I think you're asking the party, you're not asking.
No, we only got the third and fourth.
Third and fourth.
Yeah.
This is third, yeah.
Mm.
Sorry, is that what you said? I didn't hear.
Yes.
I apologize. Okay.
Well, right now she's more curious about the other volumes.
Well, you guys all have crystals, so you guys interact with the library and the patrons of the library and the various other members. There are other people walking around, just sort of off in the distance. Some of them have steered away since they saw the commotion that occurred. Since you've been in the library, it's been pretty tempestuous, right? And you've had an actual physical altercation against the library rules, and then also at one point you all blinked out and then reappeared, tumbling out, on the floor, making a bit of a noisy mess. So if you want to look for somebody, if you want to find something specifically, you guys let me know.
I think I want to find some books about Igvil.
Ooh. Okay.
And I want to do something stupid. And look into the eye of the third book.
Ooh.
Stupid.
Hey, I mean, stupid is as stupid does, as somebody might say. The DMs like me sometimes like that kind of thing because you are what is known as a player that helps advance the plot.
I try.
Yeah. Okay, so Daria. First of all, you'll roll your wisdom check to see if you can find a book on Phil successfully. There probably are books, but it's a question of you can navigate the
Okay.
library.
Oh my.
Yeah.
She's rolling like I did when I was looking for books.
Yeah, it's like the
Not
Dewey
wise.
Decimal System, but it's like 3 times more complex. So,
Hey,
uh,
Bylev, could you help me find some books about Igvil?
I can
You're better
try.
at looking.
Hopefully I am. I'm also gonna roll. It's a 10.
okay. You guys end up walking around a bit, sort of getting a bit lost on occasion. You do see 3 other Cessna locations. And at one point, the barista calls out and says, "Hey, you want to try the new spiced?"
Oh my god. Charlotte goes to get one.
Okay, that's 2 gold pieces. It's a special promotion.
Great, here you
Bylev
go.
gets one too.
Okay, make sure to take the money off your sheet. We do keep track of money. And he pours out this steaming, huge mug. I mean, it's so big that 2 hands is not enough to hold it. It's very heavy, obviously, as a result of both the liquid and the mug itself. And this frothy liquid is sort of poured in and it bubbles up and it's got these nice little foamy bits. And there's a bit of sprinkling of what appears to be some kind of spice. It smells like cinnamon and pumpkin.
Mm. She takes a sip.
Okay. First of all, roll perception for me.
Um, Perception.
Nice.
Excellent. You take a sip. It's very hot, but it's not so hot that it's hot that you hurt yourself. It's just very, very hot. It's creamy. It's very, very sweet, and it has a lovely undertone of both cinnamon and nutmeg, as well as a little bit of a pumpkin flavor. And as you're sipping this and enjoying the aroma, you sense something in your mouth. It's kind of soft and a bit chewy, little bits, not huge chunks.
I chew on them.
So when you say Charlotte is a vegetarian, has she
Oh,
ever had meat?
Probably at some points in her life.
So she probably will remember the sensation of chewing minced meat. And this is what you've got. Yes, it's an amazing new concoction by Cessna. Cessna uses, as you know, Cessna's famous for making the Cessna and the reverse, the Hansis, which is basically some meat in between 2 slices of bread or a piece of bread with 2 slices of meat on the outside. And since people love Cessna's meats, we have decided to incorporate that with our drinks. And the spiced pumpkin latte comes with a mixture of minced Rotha meat as well as, well, let's just call it Underdark Specialty Surprise. How do you like it?
That's disgusting.
What? No, it's like a meal. It's very, very nourishing.
Who would put meat into a drink? A sweet drink. You
Have
ruined it.
have you never had a stew? I don't understand. She seems very upset. And suddenly she pulls out a little stone and she's like talking about the customer seems very upset about this meat drink. I don't know if it's gonna work very well. I'm so sorry. Yeah, here, we'll refund your money. And she gives you back the 2 gold pieces.
Oh, thank you. No harm, no foul, I suppose. Would anyone like this drink?
I can take it.
Here,
And then
enjoy.
she looks at you and she goes, "Oh, well, if you're going to keep the drink," and she takes 2 gold pieces back.
Oh no. I'm
Fine,
gonna
my
give
treat,
you
I suppose.
my 2 gold pieces. Thank you.
Yeah, you drink the drink and it's
Yeah.
it's sweet and it's tasty, and of course it's very nourishing. It chews very nicely. It's got the meat has obviously been scented and sautéed and marinated, and it itself has its own release of tastes, which are complementary to the actual drink itself. So as you chew into it, there's a little sensation of a sweetness that comes out. It's almost like a fruity sweetness.
It's like
If you
boba.
were if you weren't in the Underdark, you might think it was something like a cranberry, and it's kind of tart, so it goes very well. So it actually feels like a seasonal meal, like you're getting a whole seasonal meal all in one drink.
That's amazing. I'm a
Yeah,
fan. Big fan.
and your now let's have a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
That's for fun.
Just shush
Not
no.
so much
Always with the
fun.
con saves.
Hell yeah.
Yes, well done. So the advantage of having this drink is that you get 3 chances for the next 24 hours to release one of the scents that you've just inhaled. You can release the scent of cinnamon, you can release the scent of nutmeg, cranberries, meat, or coffee. It exudes from your skin and it will mask any other smell around you within a range of 5 feet. And
Funny.
all of these scents have different outcomes. 3 of them are very calming. One of them will make anybody feel very hungry, and the meat scent will cause the equivalent of uh, rage in anybody.
And I can do it 3 times.
Yes. So the
All right.
rage would last for 1 minute, and the calming is equivalent to advantage on a persuasion check.
All right. I drink it all. It's very good.
Yes, and the rest of you immediately notices that Violet smells like a turkey dinner.
You smell good.
Thank you.
Cracker's hungry all of a sudden.
Just like, yeah, like some of the other patrons come by and they start sniffing Byleth and checking out the coffee at Cessna's. Several other people line up and buy one. This is amazing. Oh yeah, that. Did you taste the meat in there? Oh, it's so chewy and tender. One of them offers Charlotte a sip. Have you tried this? It's great.
No, I'm fine.
Oh, you don't know what you're missing. It's delicious. Oh, I think this is a real hit. I hope they do this all year round.
Oh.
Okay. Well, that was an interesting interlude. You eventually get to the place where you were looking for your book. And you find a book titled Igville. recorder of demon stories, which you can read next session. Now, who was it who hadn't finished reading her book? I think it was Delin. You haven't, Henrietta, you haven't had Delin go look for stuff yet.
No, like I said, it was only the Color Star and the Krensley. Well, I found the Krensley and Druid Goddess.
Mm. But you haven't, have you looked for them yet?
No, I haven't. Should I?
I don't know. Should you? I mean, DM taps foot impatiently.
Okay, here goes.
Is anybody else seeing that I'm prompting her? It's like,
Yeah.
Nudge, nudge, poke.
Nudge, nudge. Yeah.
Wink, wink.
Okay, I'm gonna try to find the book on Druid Gods first. That's a 14. Maybe just a shelf on gods and try and suss out the druid ones.
okay. You find a book, but it isn't one that is about your gods. It is about the Kalishtar. What was the... So did you guys read... Did you read the one Dreams Beyond the Stone Vault? I don't
I don't
think so.
think so.
No.
No, okay. There you go.
Is that the lady giant that we met?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want me to read it?
If you want to. I mean, you know, everybody else is doing it.
Yeah.
All the cool kids.
All the cool kids. Well, I don't want to be one of the cool kids. I'm unique. No.
All right, fine. You don't have to read it.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Let's just see.
It must be that time of the... It must be the season or something. Everybody's like kind of giving me a lot of lip. His Discord's acting up. You know, everybody's just like, ah, you're not the boss of me. But if you don't want to read it out loud, that's fine. I can do the reading. It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. Let's see. Just need to adjust my glasses. I'm getting old. Okay. As stone giants, we know that all above the roof of rock is a dream. But as some dreams are more familiar, so is the vaultless blue. Beyond this lie even more dreams, however. One, a dream of endless stars that travelers call the astral plane, connects other dreams as part of a multiverse. Alien creatures such as the Mind Flayer and their former slaves, the Gith, exist here on the many dreamverses that are attached like the veins of ore throughout a deposit. One of the least known is called Eberron. Little is recorded of this dream, as access is even more challenging than usual. What is known is that its native races include mind readers called the Kalashtar and awakened golems called the Warforged, as well as those capable of changing their shape or form. The only known passageway to this dream is through the Serpent World Inn, a nexus through many dreamverses and dream worlds. Sailing the Sea of Stars is also a possibility, although, like Gravenhollow, there appear to be magical barriers in place to prevent its discovery. There are also rumors of magical artifacts that can also access multiple dreamverses. Although not an option to Giantkin, the Drow believe that the home of Lols, known as the Demon Web Pits, not the tits, in the abyss, opens onto almost every known dreamverse possible. Given Lol's expansionist goals is it is assumed that these have even explored and exploited, but gaining access would surely require cooperation from the matron mothers of powerful drow houses, if not a drow deity. The end.
I have to say, I think we've had more breasts in this episode than the last 6 months combined.
Oriented.
Well done, everyone. Yes. Yeah. So does Delin feel that answers some questions for her?
Well, some, yeah.
Okay, fine. All right. I'll work on it a bit more.
No. It's just
Golly, it's like not like I'm getting paid overtime or anything. Okay. Yeah.
no,
go
it's
ahead.
good. It's good. Yeah. Just
No.
think
So
kind of
in
the
all
implications
seriousness,
then.
yeah, this is the game. This is an open sandbox game, right? If you guys want something, go find it. Obviously, in the real world, I have to figure out how it works and create some of these things or research them, or put them together from my own understanding. But there's a lot out there, and however you guys want to go, you guys can steer the ship.
I'm just thinking that kind of my race is located at the astral sea and kind of what that implicates and mind
Mhm.
flayers and stuff like that. So I kind of want to run to the mind flayers that we saw earlier to talk to them, but I know that
Mm.
they are not the kindest of races, so I'm gonna hold back. Just kind of
Didn't
think
they
about
run
what I
away?
read. Well, they moved because you put up the no kids allowed posters, so they had to leave.
All
Oops.
Zanise's fault.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Zenise has forever changed the nature of Graven Hollow.
She pats
I'm
herself on
happy
the
for
back.
it. It's a change for
Wait
the
until
better.
she. Yeah, I think there might be a halfling thieves guild that would like a word with Zenise.
So if I want to go there, I have to either find a portal or talk to Kransley, it seems. She's a drow deity.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, she is. You don't need to talk to her specifically. You could. There are other options, but yes, that's certainly.
Yeah. But we know her.
You
Better
do
the
know.
devil you know.
Ah,
Demon.
Yeah, demon.
better the demon you know.
Mm. Serpent World Inn. I'm gonna ask the others. Do you know what that is? The Serpent World Inn? Any of you
Say
heard of
what I
it?
do.
Can I do a history check? Even though I'm not proficient.
Yeah, I mean, just as a general.
Yeah, just to see if I heard about it.
Sure.
16?
So, just remind us again. I mean, I remember it, but remind. Do you want to? I think for the benefit of the rest of the people in the group, since everybody's kind of each other, remind everybody else what your background is a little bit, your backstory.
It's complicated. Well, I started out as a soldier for Queen Titania as a paladin, fighting off
And who was Queen
orcs.
Titania?
She is, I don't know if you could call her a deity, but she's high up in the Sealy Court in the Feywild.
Right.
Which
is
the Feywild or the Sealy Court?
The Feywild.
It's another realm. where fake creatures sleep.
Right. So
Yeah.
so as somebody who actually is used to traveling between dimensions, you actually do know that there is this place that's rumored to be a neutral nexus, and it's famous not just for being a passageway, but a place where travelers from all dimensions can take safe refuge and respite. Now, you didn't know what it was called or how to reach it, but you suspect that this may be the Serpent World Inn based on its
Okay.
description.
Not my first priority right now, but I'll put it in a box in the back of my head.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep.
Anybody else want to do anything?
I wouldn't mind one of those coffees, but I don't have any money, so I'll just sit here and
Oh.
drool a little. I'm broke. Dylan, Mom. She's busy, so I don't want to bother her.
It's fine. Here you have 5 gold.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Mom,
I'm
aka bank.
I'm sorry. We just sold the last one.
Ah. What else have we got?
We've got more Cessnas.
Any drinks?
Coffee.
I'll have a coffee. That'd be great.
Okay. And we do have this new thing. We call it tea.
Hey, I heard about that.
And she stuffs a bunch of leaves into a mug and pours hot water over it and hands it to you.
Okay.
Cud's ears perk up. Yeah, it's this new invention, and it's a new creation. It's really amazing, and it doesn't give you necessarily the same acidity that you get with the coffee sometimes.
Okay. Sure. That sounds good. How much is that?
That'll be 3 gold.
Oh, come on now. Some leaves in a cup. How about 1 gold?
She looks confused. 1 sec, and then she bends over, turns her back to you, and she hunches over and she pulls out a stone. Goes, they don't want to pay the full price. What? Oh,
Tell her
okay, okay,
Cracker.
okay.
Tell her it's Cracker.
Sesta says, no negotiations. The price is the price. I'm so sorry. Sesta said to do that.
Did you tell her it was me?
No.
Okay, call her back.
Who are you? No, I can only use it once a day.
Ah. I'm Cracker. I used to work for Cessna. I used to run at one of her places. It was great. I was really good at it too. I mean, she was sad to see me go.
Roll deception.
Well, I believe that.
Yeah.
16.
Yeah, I guess you sort of bullshit your way through it. Please don't fire me. I really need this job. I've got so many student loans to pay off.
Oh.
Call this a trial price. It's new. You should always put things on sale when they're new.
I can't. I mean, I can't. And she just runs off with blowing the apron off over her head. She's obviously had a mental breakdown.
I'll cover for her. I'll cover for her while she runs off. I just grab the apron, I throw it on, and I drink the tea.
Free tea.
Cud just looks at all of you, and you call me chaotic?
She didn't kill a hyena pup.
I was thinking about that, and I remember everybody around the campfire complaining about how somebody died because of you.
Yeah.
Something about kettles and pots and black and name calling.
I didn't call anybody a name. I was just stating facts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he kind of squints at you with one eye open, one eye closed. Cud feels underappreciated. And he wanders off, starts looking at books.
I pour him a cup of tea. Cud, you gotta test this out.
No, Cud is mad. And he sort of turns, he gets very sort of passive aggressive and he turns his back on you.
Moxie.
Like a pouty child.
Needs his daily
Always.
dose of mold.
Moxie always poking the bear.
Bear, where?
Or, Cud.
I didn't poke nothing. I just stated a fact.
Well, I'll just give you a little piece of advice. And Delin gave me this piece of advice. She told me that I need to do this thing called, what is it now? Oh yeah, you have to, think before you speak. I hear it's good advice.
Uh-huh.
Other people have tried it.
Think before you speak. Well, what's the point of thinking if you're stating an obvious fact?
It's a good point. I got nothing for that. Do you want some tea?
I'll pass. I'm not a fan of leaves and water either.
I take some.
There you go.
Mm.
Thank you. Cud, I bring you something.
Cud looks over his shoulder at you.
It's tea. It's really good.
Mm. Go ahead
Oh,
and
come
roll persuasion. Go ahead and roll persuasion. I feel like you can have
24.
Oh wow.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. He takes the mug out of your hands, and of course he's so big that he can hold the mug in one hand, and his hand dwarfs the mug. And he cups it gently, and he sips from it. Closes his eyes, breathes in deeply. Zanice, let me ask you, how do you stand all these people without horns?
You get used to it.
I think you, me, and Byleth should split off and make our own group. We can make a band or something. Maybe start a business.
I think we need the rest of the group.
Nah, that's
So-
probably true.
Yeah. Don't worry.
What do you think about this book? And he pulls a book off the shelf and he shows it to you. And magically, the letters rearrange so that they stop looking like gibberish and they appear to be in common for Zanice. How to start your own business and become an entrepreneur.
I think it's interesting book. You can read it. Maybe it would help you if you want to start your own business.
Well, Delin is always saying how money is important.
It
I never
is.
thought of it before. Do you think if I started my own business, I would be any good?
Of course.
Really?
I mean, you draw a pretty good maps, so...
And he looks at you like he's trying to follow the logic. Yes, right. Maps and business. How to find my business. Yes, right. Yeah, that makes sense, I guess. Cud will think on this.
Good.
Thank you.
Problem.
And he gives you a little headbutt with like his horns,
Ow.
like a gentle headbutt. Oh, sorry.
It's okay. You're big.
Cud is big, Cud is strong.
Very
And
strong.
maybe one day, Cud will be rich. And then it'll be free tea for all my friends. Except that one. And the rest of you all look at Moxie.
Good thing I don't drink.
Cud.
Good thing I don't drink tea.
Yes, it is a good thing. Moxie's mean to Cud.
Moxie rolls her eyes and then goes to check on Bonecracker and see how her writing's coming along with her book.
Yes, her writing is looking much less childlike. She no longer grips the stencil in a fist like she's stabbing the paper anymore, but she's still struggling with the manual dexterity associated with holding it in any fashion that the rest of you would recognize as handwriting. She basically holds it. The stylus is in the correct position, tucked between the thumb and the rest of the hand. She uses all of her rather chubby, if you want to call them fingers, to hold it, as opposed to just a couple of them. So it's very, very awkward. And she obviously hasn't got the muscle memory yet. So the letters, although they are legible, are inconsistent occasionally. An A is too large, P is lowercase when it should be uppercase, etc. She shows it to you and says, I think I'm making progress, but it is slow. It will take me many, many months.
Well, that's a good improvement considering where you were. I'm impressed.
But writing something useful, that will
Yes.
take a long time.
Well, you're welcome to stay here and continue to write if you wish. Lots of examples to look at.
Yes, that's true. I will think on this.
While you're thinking on that, she takes Cracker's hand or paw and adjusts her fingers so that her grip is a little bit better suited for writing on the stylus. Try it that way. It might help a little bit.
Yeah. Let's see. What would that be?
I need to perform again.
I could see sleight of hand,
Okay.
or I could see something related to education. Maybe history and or general intelligence check.
We can do sleight of hand.
Okay. Ooh. Yeah, you managed to find a way, although she does have hands, so to speak. Obviously, they're essentially elongated hyena paws. So it isn't exactly the same as, delicate fingers from a human or especially an elf, right? But you do manage to find a particularly comfortable or more comfortable way for her biology to grip the stylus. And she immediately takes to it. Oh, yes, this is much better. Yes, it's a bit like when Bonecracker feathers an arrow before shooting enemies and prey. I shall shoot the words of my people and create a philosophy so that we may live a better, more enlightened life. Thank you.
You are most welcome, my dear.
And she puts an arm around Moxie and then licks Moxie on the side of her face.
Moxie can't help but laugh and pat her on the back and say, keep up the good work.
Thank you. Do you guys want to go anywhere else? There's still a whole bunch of library left to discover.
Curious about the future thing. The Hall of the Future.
But first, could I maybe in the Hall of Present look up Mensa Paranzan and how to get there? Or do we know that already? Because I don't.
Yes, you can look up how to get there. You just want to know how to get there?
Mm, I want to know more about it in general
Hmm.
and how to get there.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
wisdom,
Sure. Yeah.
I'll try. Phew. 4. Um,
You get redirected to another Susna's coffee stand.
oh
Hi, are you hungry? Would you like to have a Susna or try a coffee?
no. I just want to
Oh,
find a book.
oh,
I got lost. Yeah,
oh.
well, not very lucky these days.
Are you sure?
I'm sure, yes. Is there something maybe that you sell that would make me more lucky or give me a bit of wisdom? Maybe?
You mean a performance enhancing drug?
Not quite, no. Never mind.
Because we don't do that. Susnos is an all natural business.
Yeah, I figured. All right. Then it was nice talking to you. I don't suppose anyone else wants something or
And she and the clerk just sort of looks at you like very suspiciously, like you just asked something really, really inappropriate and illegal. And then you said, "Oh, it's just for my friend. I was just, or is it just theoretically?"
Yeah, it's just, maybe, but it's okay. Have a nice day. Great work.
Yeah. Yeah. Have a nice day.
Okay, I try to get out of there.
And as you
Uh,
walk away, that person punches over and starts speaking into a stone. They were asking about performance enhancing drugs. What, keep an
well,
eye on them? Okay, I'll let the others know.
just bad at wisdom. My luck is worn out, but I will try again. Can I just try again?
It'll take you need to take a long rest if you failed
Uh,
and you want to look for something else. Look for the same
mm,
thing again.
um,
Or you could have somebody else do it.
yeah. How about Zenise?
Of course, I can help you.
Can't do it. Your wisdom is very
Oh,
rich.
15?
Mm. Yeah, it takes you into a section of the all of the present. Uh, you, I'm going to move you guys there in a second. Moment. As you do, you realize that there is a chill across the hall of the present. It feels cold, sterile, a little bit damp and humid, and it's not it's not just a temperature change. It's just a sort of general environmental humidity change.
That's weird.
Ah, yeah, you're back. Got rid of all the kids.
Thank you. Good job.
Oh, it was a good idea. Yeah,
I
but
know.
it feels a bit cold now.
Yeah. Put some clothes on.
What? No, I'm a barbarian. I don't need to wear clothes. Although I guess I should because I'm becoming more enlightened. Yeah, I'll think about it. Yeah. And he wraps his fur a little bit closer around his neck. Mm. So you are in the hall of the present. You find a book It does include a general passage on Menzoberranzan, but it talks primarily about Drow history in general. Menzoberranzan is the most populated city amongst the Drow. The Drow live in cities. They are not a nation. The cities are independent, but they are ruled by families, and some families have presence in more than one city. Menzoberranzan, being the largest and the first of the major cities, is the seat of power. But because everything is essentially decentralized, other than through control of the families themselves, it really doesn't extend, its own power base doesn't extend much beyond the range of its physical limitations. The location is easily marked. Menzoberranzan is not a secret. There are very few who would dare attack Menzoberranzan because the Drow are so powerful. The primary reason why they haven't been more successful with conquest is the fact that they're constantly involved in infighting amongst themselves, where one house tries to gain control over another house's resources, and factions are created amongst several houses who try to move up the rankings or try to exact revenge on a slight, whether real or perceived. One of the more interesting historical notes is that within recent memory, which is to say, recent in an elf's lifespan, so, in the last few hundred years, the second largest city at the time was Ched Nasad, and that was destroyed. And it was destroyed as part of a vengeance related revolt by several of the lesser ranking houses ganging up on the ruling house at the time, because the ruling house had been perceived to be under Lolth's direct protection and blessing, since their matron mother had given birth to a child that was supposedly the seed of Lolth through the matron mother. But it turned out to be a horribly cruel trick by Asmodeus. And when this plot was uncovered, the ruling family, who for several hundred years, as this child was developing into an adolescent and becoming an adult, and had therefore taken many liberties against other houses, putting themselves first in line for spoils of war, creating new power structures where they didn't have the actual military or magical power to back it up, but because of the perceived threat that their relationship with Lolth gave them in terms of soft power, they were thrown down in revenge by those who had been pushed aside. And the ensuing revolution ended up destroying the entire city, so everyone lost. And the one child that survived, this so-called spawn of the devil, is named In Flagrante Delicto, but no records of him exist beyond the destruction of the city. Menzoberranzan has three main power centers. There is a wizard school, which is primarily a school for males. Males are not allowed to be part of the theocracy that rules. So Drow society is matriarchy. But on top of that, it is also a matriarchy backed by the clerical powers granted to the leaders of the houses by Lolth. And they have, of course, a very powerful temple. And then lastly, there is a school for the martial arts. The one advantage of Menzoberranzan for those who would like to visit is that it is also a large trading center, and many other races, whether they're slaves or traders or people negotiating political alliances, can be found in the city. So it's not unusual to see surface groups, other races, monsters, even beholders can be found, and mind flayers. Does that cover your question?
Mm-hmm. Thanks a lot. I also convey that to the party.
Okay. So the three schools' names are Arak Tilinith. That is the school for the clerical studies. Sorcerer, which is the school for the wizards and arcane magic, and then Melee Magthier, the school for fighter. What else do you guys want to do?
I want to look at the third book.
Oh, right. You haven't looked at the books yet. Sorry, I didn't do that. Yeah. So when you do take a look at the books, you feel that there is a pull. It feels as if there is a secret. And as you look more deeply into it, you sense swirling voices in your head. They don't mean anything to you initially. Every time you try to make them out, it's almost as if somebody is speaking in a language that's similar to one that you already know, especially if you know Abyssal, but it's not quite words that you recognize. You can tell it's a language, you can tell somebody's saying something. It almost sounds like something that should make sense, but if there is something that sounds or mimics the sound of a syllable or word that you know, contextually it doesn't make any sense. Occasionally you hear words that seem to include what you would understand to be power, fear, death, torture. But you don't know if you're just misunderstanding or misconstruing. Your brain is trying to make sense of what is otherwise gibberish to you. It's hard to tell in that context. You know that in order to unlock these secrets, inherently, something needs to be provided to satisfy the book's needs. There needs to be a sacrifice of life.
Let's find those children.
Where are
Oh,
those kids
man.
when you need them? Yeah, I feel like some of you are definitely heading down the path of evil. I mean, as long as you're okay with that, I'm cool.
Cool. I
Ooh.
don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I know. It's a mystery to me too. Okay. Who wants to go to the Hall of the Future?
I'll go.
Me too.
Moxie's always curious about things.
Mm.
All right. She is always curious about the point where people get killed.
Well, she's died once already, so.
What's the worst that could happen?
Who knows? Maybe she's a cat. She's got 8 more lives to go.
Or maybe not.
Exactly.
The question is,
Moxie
does everybody else have 8 lives? Because Moxie seems to be drawing a lot of people into her little orbit of death.
I turn
Moxie
into
walks
cat.
All right. As you walk your way through the various halls, you notice that the first thing you notice is that the Hall of the Future, unlike the others, looks extremely. Everything is clean lines. The material seems to be something that looks solid and polished like marble, but it isn't dense and cold like marble is. You don't know what it is. It's hard like plastic, but it's a little bit flexible sometimes. There is a lot of metal, of course. Everything is all the surfaces are covered in books and scrolls and styluses, stele. It's just a incredible repository. There are a number of interesting folks wandering around.
Gabagool. Rimfaxi. My boy.
This fellow up in the corner, bit unusual. And then there are these three down here. You also see what appears to be Conan, but he's very different looking, as is a basilisk. Looks a little bit slower, a little bit grayer. As you spot the fellow with the horns on the upper deck, Drinkle says, "Ooh, he's Geetlush."
He's what?
Who?
What?
I agree.
Some of you may need to translate for the rest.
I think she said he's good lush, which means like he's really sexy.
Ah. I thought she said Gidlash.
That's what I thought I heard, but
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what that means.
Well, he is eye candy.
Very, very, very good looking, but who'd you say he was, Trinkle?
I don't know.
You don't know yet. You just said who he was. Okay.
No, said he's Geetlush.
Okay. So he's good looking.
Aye.
Okay.
Don't you think so?
Oh, I'm not going to disagree there. We're just not quite sure what you had said. Apologies, my dear.
It's me dwarven accent.
That's okay. I'm sure I'll get used to it eventually.
Off to the corner, you see a hallway that says Hall of Mirrors.
Wait a sec. Do we notice the fancy horse upstairs?
Yeah, you all see it. It's prancing around.
I nudged Dylan. Dylan, it's your buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, I see him. It's Glabagul as well.
Yeah.
But I would like to say hello, but I don't know if I want to talk to Taraval at the moment.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
guy.
You know this free?
So, yeah. The skeleton guy, he's a lich. And well, he was a skeleton kid when we first met him.
Oh yeah, you talked
Um,
about him.
Yeah, that's the guy.
It's him. Okay.
And he was really well. He wasn't nice, but he was nicer as a simulacrum and a kid. But after he became his full self, he's just an asshole. And he's powerful, and he's not very good. So I don't
And-
know if we should risk talking to him. We have a
And
lot on our plate already.
the shiny prancy horse.
Oh, that's Rimfaxi. He was my deed at one time. I borrowed him for a while. He was awesome. Didn't always look like that. He was a nightmare. Black coat, fiery mane,
He's
fiery
fun to
feet.
ride.
Yeah, he can fly.
Oh,
So,
Hey, got us out of that burning thing. You remember? In that town. What the heck? What were you
Schultz?
doing? Yeah. You know that city that we burned down.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that
he
one.
was a
Yeah, the
lifesaver.
temple. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
great. That was fun. And I
And
think
as you
those were
I can't remember
terrorists.
if I know that cube inside and out. I can't remember. But
We found
and
that cube in the basement of the temple, and we put him in the bag of holding because he didn't know the way out. So we put him in the service of Taralval as housekeeping in the temple. He's a maid in Taralval's temple, cleaning up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
and as you have this open conversation in the middle of the library, a number of these little creatures that you've seen running around all over the place, they look like little stone golems. Several of them stand near you and start sketching or writing down, engraving notes into these plain stone tablets. And one of them runs up the stairs quickly, and you see a lumbering figure come out from behind several shelves of books. And they whisper in its ear, and it takes down some notes and seems to send off a little scurrying creature back to the hall of the present. You get the impression that they're updating some of the news related articles on Chult and Port Nyanzaru.
little
No.
tattletales.
Yeah. Oh well. I can just turn into an animal and never be seen again. So I'm not too worried.
Yeah, the rest of the party is screwed, but you're fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was Satina's fault. It was Satina anyway. I mean, and
Yeah.
then she died, so who cares?
She cast the fireball.
Yeah.
I did.
And
You
all
guys should
call
invent
me trouble.
buses. You guys should go through the trouble of inventing a motorized cart because you're constantly throwing people under the bus.
Yeah. Oh well.
Always blame the dead. It's so much easier.
Yeah.
It
well,
is.
We don't
They
know
should-
if she's dead. She's just missing.
She's
Still
dead
hope.
after this.
Yeah. There's no hope now.
Y'all
As
call
you're all
me trouble.
cackling and chatting and everything, the skeletal figure in red robes notices you and points at Agamemnon
Oh.
and hisses, "You! How did you find me in spite of Graven Hollow's anti-divination magic?" And he starts weaving his hands together as he's about to cast a spell.
Whoa. Tarval, he's not the real one. He's not here for you.
And suddenly, Tarelvar seems to notice Delin for the first time. Oh, Delin.
Hello.
What a delight.
Yes. It
What-
always is.
What do you mean he's not the real
Oh.
one?
He's a simulacrum.
Oh,
him.
yes. Yes, I know about that spell, don't I?
You should.
I do.
Yeah.
I see you have the rest of your group. Cracker, how are you?
Not bad. Is your house really clean?
It is, thank you. Yes, Glabelghoul has been doing a fine job. And he pats the gelatinous cube on the side. And as he does so, you see little wisps of smoke rise from the skin of his palm where it makes contact. You can smell the acid burning into the necrotic flesh, but he doesn't seem to notice it. And then he comes up to Byleth. Byleth, my dear, have you been keeping up with your studies?
Of course I have.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, if you ever want to come back, study with and be my apprentice, you are, of course, welcome. I can make you immortal, you know.
Well, that's very nice of you, but I think I'm gonna stick with my pals for now.
Of course, you need
Yeah.
more experience. And you need to get your fingers dirty. Have you sacrificed anyone yet?
No, I don't think so.
I see.
I'm not planning on it, I think.
Hmm. Have you brought anyone back from the dead? Not like a smelly cleric, but as an undead fraud.
No. Well, I'm not a necromancer, but it is my goal to bring my parents back from the dead, so I'm working on it.
Oh, yes. It's always nice when one has their mummy.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Wah, wah.
What was that?
Nothing. Nothing. That's a good joke.
Yes, I know. It's an oldie but a goodie. Well, I. Hmm, I don't suppose you could help.
With what?
Well, you see, I have this little problem.
And before Taralvar gets a chance to tell you all about his problem, Primfaxi runs up and pushes his way past Zanice and Charlotte and Moxie and immediately starts nuzzling Cracker and Byleth and especially Delin and chewing on Delin's hair.
Hi, boy. Still golden, I see. I thought it would wear off.
Oh, it did, if you recall, but he seemed to enjoy it so much that, as a requirement for continued service, I had to permanently change his appearance. So I have. It's a bit too bling for my tastes, but, well, you know what they say about bitches, witches, and basic bitches.
Yeah, we just read the book.
Is there a book now?
Yeah.
It's amazing what they'll get up to with their self-promotion. Horrible. Horrible.
Well, he looks beautiful. He's lovely.
He-
And at this, Hermfaxi looks very proud. He lifts his head up a bit higher, stamps his feet, does a little sort of 360 in place, knocks over several books. His hooves, which are on fire, actually set fire to one of them.
Good boy. I'm just gonna scratch his neck.
And he continues chewing on your hair.
I let him. He's my boy.
Glabalghoul also sort of comes up and vibrates and shakes gently.
Hello. Getting big, I see. Enough to eat at the new place.
Plenty to eat.
Would you like me to vomit for you?
Do you have some gold?
I don't know.
And
Go
he
ahead.
begins expelling everything. Just making a huge mess in front of you. There are all kinds of metal bits, some stone. You do see some shiny bits pop out. A number of gold pieces, which you have to count first. There is a partially consumed longsword that has a handle that's definitely eaten away, as well as a boot that looks like it comes from a suit of plate mail, but it's also partly corroded.
Oh.
And right at the very end, a pristine looking arrowhead made of metal drops out. Ba-ting!
Oh. This looks nice.
It's very shiny and it doesn't look the least bit touched by any acid.
Hmm. Must be pretty special to be in such good shape.
Yeah. Violet, we need your pearl and your mine.
Uh-huh.
I'm just gonna give it to. You don't have to do it now, but
Mhm. I
it's yours.
mean, it's not. Could I do it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
And while
And
you're doing this, everybody just stands around waiting patiently for you,
Yeah. Just
including
staring,
Tarelvar.
nothing to see here.
tapping our foot. Oh, come
Ta-
on.
he's tapping a skeletal foot. And, he's sort of like asking on the side, so what have you been up to? Making small talk. How's the
Yeah.
weather on the surface? As you cast your identify, you reach in, you touch it, you close your eyes, and you get a sensation. This is a magical device. This is called the doorstop.
Oh.
Wow.
And although it looks like an arrowhead, its primary use is to be wedged between a door and a frame. And once it has been used, it would require a DC 20 strength check from the opposite side to try to unlock or unjam a door. There is no activation.
That's great.
Hang on to that.
Do you take it, Dylan, or?
You can take it if you want to. I have my volcanic glass. They have served me
All right.
good in the past. I blocked the door with those at one time. But while Byleth is doing identify, I start counting the coins.
Yeah, there are 21 gold coins
Mm.
and one coin that is made partly of gold, partly of platinum, and it has what appears to be a lizard or dragon's head profile, but it's not just the head as if it was a beast or creature. It seems to be something that is wearing clothes of some sort. So you can see the shoulder and the neck, and there's a collar and some sort of official-looking uniform or dress.
Okay, is that the same snake motif that we had before that we thought maybe be cursed?
Yes, it looks very similar.
Okay, so I have 11 of those now.
Very good.
Okay. 21 go. Okay, how many are we? Continue. I'm gonna do some math.
Whatever the rest of you guys want to do.
Looking around here.
Oh, you're not going to ask him about what he wanted?
Oh yeah. Well, I just was kind of waiting for Dylan because she's kind of more his buddy. I was just giving Grimfaxy a bit of a scruff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you want some help, Tarelval. What do you need?
Well, I think we could perhaps help each other.
Okay.
I have fallen on some hard times since we last spoke. Thought I would be able to return to Thay, carve out a bit of my old empire, but, well, there appears to have been a miscommunication. Zastan is not pleased with me.
We read something about that. Well, the wizards of they are hunting you and that they are now asking Queen Titania for help and the other surface races in there so they can help with the mold as a favor.
Uh, they've enlisted the aid of outsiders? Silvery Moon?
Yeah.
Was a time when we would have done anything except ally with them. A shame.
Yeah.
Truly, new leadership is required.
I think it's the looming threat of Saktmoy that's pushed them over the edge, to be honest.
Is Zakmoy a threat?
Well, yeah. Haven't you heard?
Oh, I'm fully aware. I just didn't think it was such an issue.
Well, think of it this way. What we have learned that everyone that comes in contact with the mold that she kind of puts out everywhere, that evil people become good people become evil. So you might become a good lich. How would we like that?
If I still had insides, I'd be splitting them now. That's a
You
good
want to
one,
try it?
Dalin.
You can try it. We have
Oh,
some extra mold.
no, it's fine. I just meant that as primarily a necromantic nation, Thay is not specifically as impactful. However, I will say I can see the economic effects. You see, if you hadn't noticed, those who die from exposure to the mold are not very good fodder for animation. So perhaps it creates its problems for Thay by reducing the potential workforce and recycling capacity of the slaves in the country.
Maybe.
Hmm.
We
Are
haven't tried it.
you carrying the mold because you're doing research?
Yes.
I see. You trying to find a cure or a solution?
Yes.
Ah, I see. Well, as I suggested initially, perhaps we could help each other.
Okay. Meaning?
Well, first of all, I can get you to Menzoberranzan. I will tell you that this disruption extends beyond just Zakmoy and Dweeblex. In fact, it has been caused by some interaction between a giant wizard and quite a few demon lords, such that those who wish to interact and resolve the problem will have to deal with almost all of them, at least the major princes who are currently running amok prime material play. Or, I should say, at least their avatars are.
Yeah. We met one, I think.
Did you?
Yeah, I think so. Well, we don't know exactly, but we kind of met the Demigorgon with some Kotoya.
Really? Demogorgon?
Yeah.
He is one of the most powerful.
Yeah, we ran.
Oh, yes, of course. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here.
Mhm.
Well, you see, there's a hierarchy. Orcus sits at the top. primarily because he controls vast armies of undead. Oh, what I wouldn't give to have his power. Plus, when he is armed with the wand of Orcus, he is almost unstoppable on the field. But Demogorgon, although he is powerful, does not have the same control over others. He is primarily a brute force, magical as well.
Mm.
He has some limited ability to affect the world beyond his reach. Gratzt. Now that's one you should remember.
How do you spell that? It's important for my notes. I'm writing a book. So
Oh, yes. Well, you can mention me if you wish. Gratzt is Gratz.
oh.
He
So I can
is.
mention you in the book, in my book? Sorry to interrupt, but
Oh, of course, absolutely.
Cool.
I am immortal, but I am not beyond vanity.
Mhm.
And immortality comes in many forms, as you know. Being recorded in posterity is another way to be.
Good,
And
good to know.
as one who has come close to being destroyed several times, I am not without my own sense of mortality. However, as I was saying, Gratzt, he is as powerful and devious as he is beautiful. He has control of swathes of armies, primarily through his exceptional negotiation skills and ability to create alliances amongst disparate groups, including demons and demon lords who would normally be warring against each other. If Gratz could be aligned with someone more powerful in certain other complementary arenas, it is possible that he would be able to replace Orcus. Baphomet and Yinugu, brute monsters. No offense there, my fine friend. And he looks at Cud. Gods of the Minotaurs and the Gnolls, respectively, they are somewhat two-dimensional in their interests. Mostly it's about violence and chaos and spreading their own version. Viciousness. It doesn't really build anything. It's just about tearing things down. Deadly and dangerous, but mostly manageable. And of course you know about Samoy, Treblex. There's, of course, Fraz Erblu and Malkanthet. Malkanthet is a bit of an odd one. She is the goddess of succubi and incubi. Very, very limited in power, because, of course, the succubi and incubi have just indirect abilities other than killing for the sake of sustenance. Fraz Erblu, however, very dangerous, is the god of lies and deception amongst the demon lords and princes, and he will say many things that can twist one's ideas of loyalty and confuse one. Always laced with a bit of truth, it is exceptionally difficult to discern what is or is not truly real. Be careful when dealing. You will
Are you,
need to get to Menzoberranzan for a solution.
yeah. Are you saying you have to fight all the avatars of these gods?
No, I don't think you do.
Okay,
The
thank you.
advantage is that they already want to fight each other. Demogorgon and Orcus are constantly locked in struggle, and Gratz is always on the periphery trying to find a way to take advantage. If it weren't for the fact that they are so chaotic, they might actually gang up and beat the devils in the Blood War. But of course, they can never seem to get them together. I did not mention Lo. I know you must know she is not only a demon prince in her own right, but the goddess of Drow. It is specifically that reason why you must get to Sopranos. I have not finished my research, but I sense that she has got her fingers, I should say her spider webs, entangling all of this. And since the source seems to be in Zoparanzan, it would make some sense. Now, if you wouldn't mind doing me a favor.
Continue.
Depends on what it is.
First of all, don't tell anyone you've seen me here. I'm trying to keep a low profile. You know what I mean, sure.
So don't write that in my book.
No, the book probably won't come out anytime soon, will it?
I don't know. I gave my first draft to the Stone Giants.
Oh, that's fine. They take forever. It's like trying to wear down stone with water. Millennia, best.
Oh,
Apparently, their whole proofreading and copywriting process is glacial.
Are you still staying where we met you? I'm looking around,
Well,
looking for the small goblins.
I've left everything to Aegeus. He is quite a good assistant. Apparently, he's turned it into some sort of theme park.
Yeah, I heard. I was just wondering if you were there as well. Kind of
Dinosaur rides
curiosity.
and little candy shaped like brontosauruses. It's very, very tacky.
Hmm.
It's fine. I'm happy researching here. Plus, the anti-divination magic makes it quite challenging for my old colleagues to find me.
True.
However, in order to progress my recovery, shall we say, and because of the anti-violence pact here, I'm having some difficulty finding a life source. I don't suppose one of you could spare a hit point.
One?
I could. I got lots.
Just one will do for now. I'll come back and ask you later if I need more.
Forever?
Yeah, go for it. You can take one.
Really, that's very kind.
And before you get a chance to change your mind, he immediately sort of grabs you by both arms. And although his hands are very skeletal and thin, they feel like freezing cold steel. And you sense, Cracker, that this tendril of negative energy permeates your skin into your bones, and you feel it moving into your joints, clutching at your heart as if something is restricting your ability to breathe and pump blood.
Ah, yes.
His whole demeanor changes briefly and then returns to his current form. And you see a little tiny glow of energy peeking through on his chest from something that may be buried under a layer of clothing, and then it disappears.
Thank you, Cracker. The phylactery looks much better.
And he takes out what appears to be a small gem-studded brooch on a chain, looks at it.
Yes, I see a crack has gone away. That will do. Well, I suppose we're out of time. Let me give you one last thing. Byle, come here, young child.
Okay. I come. Damn.
and he pulls out a tube from inside his long flowing robe sleeves. Use this in good health, and don't forget, the first time is always memorable. Well, I must get back to my research. Oh, and for those of you who hadn't realized, I'm from the future. So, one last word of advice. If you want to get rich, stock up on apple. Cud stands there looking at him going, Cud likes apples. Maybe this is how Cud gets rich.
Yeah, apple and maps.
When you open the scroll, it is a scroll of animate dead.
Mm. Okay. I'm very thankful. Thank you.
Ciao! And he gives you all a skeletal wave and turns his back on you. All three of them sort of disappear behind some bookshelves.
How much would it cost to get that in your spell book?
I don't know if I'm the right level for it.
Yes, it's level 3, so you'll have to wait until she's a 5th level wizard.
Mm. I'll hang on to it.
Yep. It is also technically castable by anybody else who can cast that spell in their spell list, but doing so in that case would destroy the spell, scroll.
Mm.
Byleth could also cast it from the scroll as well.
I'll definitely want to get it into my book, but I have to wait
Okay.
a bit.
Yep. Very good. All right, folks. Well, that's where we're going to end today.
It was great.
It was.
Does his pulling a hit point off me change my total hit points to 54?
Yes, you are now. Please reduce it by 1 hit point, but also please make a note in the lower right-hand column where your class abilities are that you lost 1 hit point, because this way, when I do a calculation, when I'm double checking things, I know that's where 1 hit point disappeared to. So -1 HP to Taral Bar for his phylactery.
Yeah, mine says -1 HP. Sacrifice to Cub.
Exactly. All right.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well,
All
that
right.
went better than I expected, to be honest.
Yeah, it's funny how when he suddenly has no friends anymore, he's worried
Yeah.
about being attacked. He's suddenly really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing
Don't have
what
mincemeat
happens.
to protect him.
Yeah. Yeah. People are, people are selfish, right? They worry about their own needs. So very good. Well, I hope you guys had fun. I certainly did.
Had a blast.
Of course.
And if there are any questions about anything in the meantime, feel free to send me some messages during the week. I'm around, and it's not too busy this week. So, especially if those of you, I think Sophia had mentioned, are still looking at leveling up in the near future, make sure to send me your questions this week if you can, because next week will definitely be very, very. Okay,
Okay.
cool. All right. Take care, everyone.
All right.
All right. Have a
Okay.
good one,
Take
guys.
care.
Someday.
Yeah,
Take
have a good
care.
one.
Week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Bye.